everyone, we are going Chinese. We're going to do some egg roll in a bowl. I have 2 tablespoons of avocado oil in this pan. I'm going to move closer to the pan. And I'm about to take this ground chicken, put it right in there. There's a zillion recipes out there. I've been making this recipe a couple of times. I love it. You know me with my naked meat. That's getting some salt and pepper to start. Not too much salt because we add a lot of stuff to this for flavor. Have you ever heard of the egg roll in a bowl phase? A lot of pepper. Now let me get my chopper. That's not where it's supposed to be. Where is my chopper? Oh no. Oh, it's up here. Yes, I'm in my pajamas. I still don't feel so well. This is the same day as the smoothie and Dave's sub. So what I'm doing is browning up ground chicken. When I moved here, I was 21 years old, and I grew up in a place that Chinese restaurants were on every corner. And I came to a place that had one Chinese place in Johnstown, and it was called Choose, and it was on Market Street in Johnstown. And it certainly was definitely not the Chinese that I was used to. It was not at all. I don't even know what it was. Now there are more, but I live far from everything. So when I have a hankering for Chinese food, I usually have this in the freezer and it does the trick. Plus, it's super, I mean, over the top good for you. You can make this completely carb-free. I'm doing 3 cloves of garlic over here. And not add any rice to it. So this is my take. I did it 3 years post-op. I add a little brown rice to it, and I like it this way. You'll see my finished product when I'm done. It doesn't take super long, and it's full of vegetables. It's full of fiber. It's full of protein. You're gonna see my tricks of the trade of this. So I'm gonna just keep that garlic going and keep going with this chicken. To this chicken, once I get it a little bit brown, I might have to pause you because I'm not sure how long this video, I've never done this recipe on a video. Like I said, this gives me my Chinese vibe, and I love Chinese food. When I moved here, all these people I work with, they hate Chinese food. They never had it, that's why. It's cats, it's this, it's that. It's delicious. It's, you know what? It's like way healthier than your stupid Taco Bell and Burger Kings are. So you can go in there and get lots of fresh veggies with your meats, chickens, shrimps. We grew up with it, and that would be there was 10 of us, so my parents didn't do it often, but if they did do it, into this, if they took us out to dinner, a lot of times it was either pizza or Chinese because they could afford that. We're going to put a whole onion diced up, and this is different than anybody's other recipe that I saw. I like a diced red pepper in mine. You know, you make it your own. If you don't like peppers, you don't put them in. You don't like onions, you don't put them in. And then I'm going to put the lid on it for a minute, if I can find my lid. I'm always flipping my lid. Because that speeds up the onions cooking. So I'll start doing some of the other stuff. This takes a lot of sauces. I have out soy sauce. And no, I don't use la choy for this. This is just Aldi's because I could always sprinkle la choy on the end. It's, I don't know, it's expensive, more expensive. I just try to do it frugally. Hoisin sauce I keep in the fridge once I buy it. I use that. I use sesame oil. I use soy sauce. I use some sriracha. And I use rice vinegar. And all of these are the Oriental vibes. You'll see. This comes out like amazing. So it definitely uses a good 1/4 cup of soy sauce. So I'm going to measure that out. The rest I'm not measuring, you guys. You're going to have to bear with me. I believe I have them down as tablespoons. I'm going to read you my recipe. You can see this was a recipe from Passionate Penny Pincher, and then I made it my own. Her recipe was ground turkey or pork. I do it with chicken. 1 clove of garlic, I did 3. 1 16-ounce bag of coleslaw, a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 2 squeezes of fresh ginger, we'll get to that. 2 teaspoons of sriracha, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. I do 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. That's strong and it will overpower. Then she's done. Like, she puts eggs in hers too, you'll see. I added hoisin sauce, water chestnuts, my pepper, and rice. And I'm going to show you the finished stuff when I'm all done. So let's take a look, see where we're at. It's not browned. It doesn't really get browned, it gets cooked. That's what I'm looking for, is cooked chicken and cooked softened vegetables. But I have to add all this cabbage in too and soften that up, so I'm probably going to pause you guys and then come back. But we'll see. I'll show you as I won't put any sauces in until I have you with me, okay? Maybe. Hey guys, I'm going to add in the garlic, give it a stir. You'll see this is a one-pot wonder. Next is going to go the Bag Cole Slaw. The chicken's cooked, so it gets more and more delicious as this goes on. I do it my way. I mean, you guys probably have seen this on the internet. You put the whole bag. Cabbage is so good for you. Virtually no calories, full of fiber, keeps you going. Here's the 1/4 cup of soy sauce, the 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, some hoisin sauce. It's very thick, so that I use about 1 to 2 tablespoons. I'll know this is a little sweeter. We're going to call that 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Like my measurements. Sriracha is spicy. We're going to do it on top of the soy. 1, 2. That's not a tablespoon though. And then I like a little rice vinegar for the pang of it. I might put that all in. I am. There's not much in there. So I'm going to say that was a tablespoon in the bottom. That's empty. Now, here's where I also do different. Water chestnuts. I'm going to slice them up, put them right in and saute them with the rest of the vegetables, and put you back on pause while that's cooking. So you ever use water chestnuts? I was going to look at the nutrition. 45 calories for 1/3 cup, 1 gram of protein. I like the crunch it gives. It gives a crunch that stays with it. I don't stir rice in until that cabbage is cooked at the end, because my rice is already cooked. And my rice of choice is a brown rice. That's what I have cooked. So you'll see, we're getting there. These are going to go in. Now you see how it makes a massive amount of food, and it feeds an army. But I take 1 serving of this today, and then I freeze probably 3 to 4 servings of it, and have it another day when I want Chinese food. So that is egg roll in a bowl so far, and I will show you when it's done. Hey guys, I don't know if you can see smell-o-vision and television and egg roll in a bowl vision, but we're getting there. All the vegetables are starting to soften. The one thing I forgot to add while we were doing everything dumping before was my ginger. So you know I keep it in the freezer, and I use my Rachel Ray tool. It sits right on the pot, and I'm going to grate it in, and I'm hoping you can see. I'll try to grate it where you can see. This really does add. We're almost done. You'll see the finished product in a few minutes. So would this be something you would eat? Now, again, post-bariatric, a couple of years. I am. So I can't eat a lot of it, to tell you the truth. My stomach can hold a cup and a half tops, and this is super high protein, and I'm about to add carbs to it, but you don't have to. But I add a healthy complex carb that is brown rice, and I add 1 cup. So like I told you, my 1 cup of rice goes into, here's the 1 cup. It goes into this whole thing, and then this whole thing divides up to 4 to 5 meals. So if it's 4 meals, I'm only using a 1/4 cup of brown rice in my dinner, divided by 4. The water chestnuts give it a crunch. You could always add more soy sauce if you think it needs more. I won't know until later, and I probably won't know at all today because my taste buds aren't really that great. But let me tell you, I crave Chinese food, and I do love it. And when I do, and I could smell the ginger, that's a good sign. That means I'm smelling. I just smelled it. I will write the recipe up for you guys so that you can decide what you want to keep in and what you want to take out. Now, well, pay attention. I'm making a little hole in the center. And this is why. When I tell you high protein, I'm not joking. If you ever had fried rice, if you like Chinese food and you've had fried rice, there are eggs in the fried rice. So you could put as many eggs, you could put 4 if you want, because you're gonna make this into 4 servings. I find that 2 is the perfect number for the 1 pound of meat. If you're doubling this recipe meat-wise, because you could do that, put 2 pounds of meat and 4 eggs to that same vegetable mix that I just did. So you're basically gonna make scrambled eggs in the center first. Don't mix them into the rice yet. Just cook them right there. Because when you cook them, or when you mix it, you want it to be scrambled eggs already formed into scrambled eggs. Yeah, this is delicious. What do you think? Tell me. I already know the people I know that hate Chinese food for whatever reason. They didn't grow up with it. We grew up with Italian bakeries, bagel shops, Chinese restaurants, and pizza places that knocked your socks off. I have 3 scallions. I'm cutting them up. They're my last 3 scallions in my fridge. They were looking kind of sad, but they're going to be the finishing product. You could sprinkle sesame seeds. Now, this is what I usually do when I plate it up, or put it in a bowl actually. It's egg roll in a bowl. I squeeze fresh lime. First I put a piece of avocado and then fresh lime. So we're getting scrambled eggs now in the center. I don't know why. The lime brings something to life with all these flavors. And I do avocado chunks on top. And normally would sprinkle those scallions on top once it's done. I love them. I love this whole dish. It comes out full of flavor, and you would never know that you're eating healthy. So, super healthy. You got ground chicken and a million vegetables. Well, not a million. I'm an exaggerator. And eggs, and all those sauces with flavor. We're almost done. I want those eggs cooked. And then I will stir them into the rice, top it with scallions, and call it a day. And say, my work here is done today. Yeah, perfect. Do you see how the eggs cooked now? Can you see this okay? I think so. Okay, I'm gonna mix it all in. Saute her up. The eggs are mixing in with the proteins of the rice. I did the rice already. I did the ginger. I did all the ingredients, all the sauces. And we have a delicious Asian inspired egg roll in a bowl that gets better and better as it sits here, believe it or not. So that cabbage cooks down. You sprinkle on some scallions and 2 scallions. Egg roll in a bowl. Now I bring the Chinese restaurant to freezing cold land. There you are. Love you guys.